We begins with a gang leader named Cyrus, who is interested in a rare artistic painting being auctioned in Spain. However, the painting is located in London. It is revealed that two members of Cyrus' team, Luke and Magnus, are present in London to steal the painting, and Cyrus accompanies them. Meanwhile, a female investigator from Interpol named Abby is monitoring their activities and has gathered information about Cyrus' planned theft. At the auction, Cyrus bids on the painting, and there is another bidder named Molly who competes with him. However, Cyrus keeps increasing the bid amount until it reaches $20 million. The painting is announced as sold to Cyrus, but at the same time, one of Cyrus' gang members, Min, infiltrates the security system and triggers the alarm, causing chaos as a result. The sale is halted, and Cyrus takes advantage of the commotion to approach the painting's owner and inform him that he has paid $20 million but did not receive the painting due to the breach. Cyrus convinces the owner to accompany him on a yacht trip until the painting is delivered. The owner agrees and they leave together. In London, Magnus reaches the safe containing the painting, manages to open it, steals the artwork, and places it in a metal tube. He quickly escapes with it while being pursued by security. In Spain, one of Cyrus' accomplices named Camilla is waiting on a boat. Cyrus, Magnus, and the painting's owner board the boat, and they speed away from the location simultaneously. The museum guard continues his search for Cyrus, following the boat with a camera skillfully and quickly. He avoids Abby's pursuit and eventually reaches Cyrus and his group on the yacht. Cyrus informs the painting's owner that he can sell the artwork on the black market for $89 million, and reveals that the entire auction was a complete fake. Moreover, he managed to steal the painting from London, but the owner gave him the codes for the NFT technology in the painting. This is so Cyrus can complete the sale. In return, Cyrus agreed to pay the owner $40 million. The owner accepted and agreed to give Cyrus the codes, then they spent the night together, finalizing the agreement between them. The next day, Abby was at the Interpol headquarters, where she met her boss, Hixley. Abby interacted with Hixley, who asked her to meet Cyrus and convince him to participate in a mission for Interpol. In exchange, all charges against Cyrus and his man would be dropped. Hixley explained the mission, which involved stealing a shipment of gold belonging to a businessman named Lars. The gold would be transported by plane from London to Zurich, Switzerland, to be delivered to a terrorist gang of hackers. Abby learned from Hixley that Lars had made a deal with a hacker gang to infiltrate the infrastructure systems of a European city and disable the water control systems, causing the entire city to flood. This would allow Lars to gain control of the stock market and make billions of dollars. However, Abby was initially reluctant to cooperate with Cyrus. However, Hixley convinced her that they had no other solution, especially since Interpol had been monitoring Lars for some time but couldn't find any evidence against him. They only had the option to disrupt Lars' deal with the hacker gang. Abby was persuaded by Hixley's argument, and that night she went to Cyrus' house to discuss the matter. It was revealed that Abby had a past friendship with Cyrus, but it had been a long time since they last saw each other in Paris. At that time, Abby was unaware that Cyrus was the leader of a criminal gang and had used their friendship to carry out one of his heists. Cyrus tried to remind Abby of the good times they had together, but she refused his words and asked him for his opinion on the mission she presented to him. Eventually, Cyrus agreed to participate in the mission on the condition that Abby would join him. Abby had no other choice but to accept since she had no alternative. On the second day, Cyrus meets his gang members and presents them with the mission. Despite its difficulty, all of Cyrus' team agrees because they know that their criminal records will be completely erased. Abby starts explaining the mission's details to them and tells them that Lars will be transporting the gold on a private plane. They have to steal the gold before it reaches the hackers. Then Cyrus and his team discuss their plan and decide to use another plane that will fly beneath the one carrying the gold. At the same time, they will manipulate the surveillance systems to hide their plane from the radar screens. They also change the flight path of the plane carrying the gold so that it lands at their private airport. Once the plane arrives at the airport, they will open the plane's cargo hold and steal the gold. One crucial element they need for their plan is a private plane. Cyrus offers Molly, a businessman who was bidding on the plane, to buy it from him. Molly is interested in the offer, but he realizes that Abby is from Interpol, and he confesses to her that he violated international aviation laws by modifying the plane without official permission, although Interpol has the authority to arrest him and seize the entire plane. Abby assures him that they will only confiscate the plane without arresting him. Abby and Cyrus succeed in obtaining Molly's plane and take it to a secret location. The Cyrus team starts making modifications to the plane to suit the mission. They use a specific metal that helps the plane avoid radar detection. They also install a large number of cameras inside the plane to assist Camilla while flying. Afterward, Abby goes to meet one of her friends named Harry, who works at the air traffic control tower of Zurich Airport. She agrees with him to mislead the pilot of the plane carrying the gold and make him change his flight path to land at their private airport. Harry was convinced to carry out the mission because he feared losing his job and jeopardizing his future. Cyrus offered Harry $1 million in exchange for his help. Harry happily accepted the offer without hesitation on the day of the operation. Harry boards the second plane, accompanying Mango, Dante, and Bella. They notice a group of Lars men on the plane, whose role is to protect the spike containing the gold in the safe. Cyrus stays in communication with his team, however. Theros is shocked to learn that Luke did not board the plane. As a result, Luke decides not to participate in the mission and assigns his role to Lara. Meanwhile, the second plane, flying behind the plane carrying the gold, approaches Zurich Airport. Cyrus gives orders to the team to take action. Mangos and Dante move towards the cargo hold of the plane and begin deciphering the lock to open it. Abby, on the other hand, leaves her position and goes to the restroom, where she collects the signal jamming device to hide Camilla's plane. When it approaches the gold plane, unfortunately, the device slips from her hands and falls to the ground, breaking apart. She quickly tries to retrieve it. At that moment, Theros becomes worried about Abby's delay and goes to help her gather the device. Meanwhile, Camilla manages to fly under the gold plane at the same speed. Abby communicates with Harry in the control tower to give instructions to the pilot of the gold plane to land at their private airport. Harry and the pilot realize that an incident has occurred at Zurich Airport, causing a disturbance. But they decide to follow the instructions and land at the designated airport. After landing, Cyrus, Abby, and the rest of the team exit the restroom. They confront one of Lars' men on the plane and engage in a fierce battle. However, Abby and Cyrus manage to gain control over Lars' men, showing their expertise. They then move towards the cargo hold of the plane. Suddenly, Comac, Lars' assistant, appears and points his gun at them. At this moment, the plane lands on the private airport runway, which is covered in snow, causing the plane to skid. However, the pilot manages to regain control of the aircraft and brings it to a halt after sustaining some damage. At the same time, Camilla lands her plane on the same runway, positioning herself right behind the gold plane. Inside the plane, Comac and Lars' men have captured Cyrus, Abby, Mango, and Dante, and have uncovered the entire plan. Comac contacts Larry and informs him of what has happened. Larry decides to change the course of the plane and immediately head to his house in Italy. He takes Comac and his men, leaving Cyrus, Abby, Mango, and Dante on Camilla's plane. Comac points his weapon at Camilla and instructs her to board the plane and prepare to fly towards Italy, while he controls the situation. Meanwhile, Hex, who is aware of the situation and knows that Lars' men have taken control of the plane, gives orders to his assistant to search for the plane immediately. Camilla's plane then starts moving towards Lars' house. During the flight, Camilla comes up with a clever idea. She increases the speed of the plane and abruptly tilts it to get rid of the metallic objects attached to the aircraft's body. As a result, the plane becomes visible on the radar, allowing Interpol to locate its position. Camilla's plan succeeds, and the plane indeed appears on the radar. Hex manages to spot it, but he contacts the Air Force and informs them that the plane is carrying terrorists, requesting them to shoot down the aircraft in the air. It becomes evident that Hexley is not concerned about anything except preventing the gold from reaching the boss. Meanwhile, Mango realizes that he can get rid of the man who was going to kill him and quickly escapes from him in Italy. Lars receives his injured hacker leader and apologizes to her for the modifications made to the plan. He learns that the plane carrying the gold is about to arrive on Camilla's plane. She is shocked to find fighter jets demanding her immediate surrender or they will shoot down her plane within 60 seconds. But Comac prevents Camilla from communicating with the pilots and asks her to increase her speed and continue on her way. However, Abby and Cyrus attack Comac and his men, engaging in a fierce fight. Abby uses the control device and writes a message on the screen located on the plane's body, stating that there are civilians on board. She turns the plane around so that the fighter jets can see the message, and as soon as the fighter jets see the message, they abort the mission and forget about it. Then Abby activates the autopilot and disarms one of Lars' men, causing him to lose consciousness. However, the plane loses balance and tilts towards the ground, and at that moment, Abby notices that Comac is at the plane's door. She uses the control device to open the door, and at the same time, Cyrus hits Comac and throws him out of the plane. Abby quickly closes the door again, and Cyrus and Abby go to the cockpit to check on Camilla. They find that Camilla has been injured in her hands and cannot control the plane. So Cyrus takes over quickly and manages to maintain the plane's balance. At this moment, the plane has arrived at Lars' house, and Camilla gives him landing instructions for Cyrus. However, Cyrus lands the plane in a very rough manner, almost crashing into Lars' house. But the plane stops in front of the house at the last moment. Lars and his men run towards the plane quickly, and Lars grabs his weapon and threatens Cyrus and Camilla. However, the leader of the hacker gang decides to abort the mission because she received information that Interpol knows everything that is happening. Lars tries to convince her that he is in control of the situation, but she insists on her decision. She shoots Lars and all his men, and then she contacts the Italian forces and informs them of the location, raising their weapons against Lars. Lars tells them that it's his house and that Cyrus and the others have invaded his house. The police aim their weapons at Cyrus and his companions, but Cyrus activates the screen on the plane's body, and it becomes clear from the cameras on the plane that recorded everything that the police see. Lars killing the leader of the gang, they open fire on him and all his men. Then a helicopter arrives and Hexley and his men disembark from it. Hexley is the one who asked the Air Force to detonate the plane. Abby loves Hexley and slaps him in the face. She gives him her badge and tells him that she's resigning from her job. Then she goes to Cyrus and Camilla and they all get on the boat and leave the place. After a week, Cyrus is in his car with Abby and he tells her that he stole the gold from the plane and that they loaded a fake amount of gold on the same plane that was transporting Lars' gold. Magnus was able to switch the shipments and put the fake cargo in the plane's storage and crash the second shipment from the plane so that Luke could receive it. He would control it and direct it towards the desired location. Then Cyrus would take Abby to a specific location in front of the river, where all their comrades would be gathered. Cyrus would take the control device from Luke and give it to Abby to use it. As soon as Abby presses a specific button on that device, the gold shipment would emerge from under the water, surprising Spy and all their comrades because they would suddenly become very wealthy. The movie ends now, but you should know that we will meet again, so be on time. Thank you for watching, and we hope you support us by liking and subscribing to the channel. Sweet dreams.